People were outraged when a squirrel named Peanut, who became a social media star, was seized by the state of New York and euthanized. Republicans have used the death of Peanut as a rallying point to demonstrate government overreach. The fact that Americans are literally like, squirrel, at the end of this election is absolute perfection.
Squirrel!
I'm Bridget Phetasy, and this is your dumpster fire. Final one before the election, folks. Welcome to Dumpster Fire, where we make burgers out of your sacred cows. So to get into the nitty-gritty of this story, Peanut, R.I.P. It was the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. They raided Peanut's Freedom Farm Animal Sanctuary on Wednesday.
That's to find a squirrel. Let somebody come in here and do this to your house.
They confiscated a squirrel and a raccoon named Fred, who sadly didn't get as much attention as Peanut, but Fred was also euthanized. He was being rehabilitated.
Well, Fred wasn't quite the star that Peanut was.
No, because he was new to the house. So Mark Longo had owned Peanut for 7 years. He raised him from baby squirrel. He watched the mom get hit by a car. He saved the baby squirrel and then tried to release him into the wild. And then Peanut showed back up on his door, missing part of his tail. So he realized he was not prepared to live in the wild and decided to keep him as a house pet. Peanut went viral when Mark posted videos of him playing with his cat. And he was like, this is America. Animals can become social media stars. 6 officers raided the house Wednesday, seizing the animals, and it later came out that they were euthanized. It's allegedly Peanut, defending his owner and himself, bit one of the people who were raiding the house, and then they had to euthanize him to determine whether or not it had rabies, which is horrific. It created like a firestorm online. By the way, this is because some neighbors and people online were snitching on Fred, and they called and said that he was, housing vermin. So they went in there guns blazing like they were going to raid some drug lord's house.
The officer opened the back of the toilet to see if I was hiding something in there.
This is not the first time this has happened in America. If you have like an illegal lemonade stand and you're a child, or I think there was a little girl whose like pet goat got taken by the state and euthanized. The state overreach on stuff like this. By the way, Billy Binion from Reason covers so many stories of state overreach and federal overreach, and his beat is insane, and it's a lot of these kinds of ridiculous stories. And so if you looked at all of the tweets going around of this story, the most common quote tweet was, "You don't hate the government enough." The outrage was instantaneous. People were joking, this squirrel is going to determine the election, isn't he? I was hoping Trump was going to go dressed to his last rally as a squirrel. At the very least, a moment of silence for Peanut the squirrel. He did not die in vain. I made a joke that Peanut died so Tony Hinchcliffe could live. Oh, and then there were the memes where it was Peanut over Trump's shoulders, and he was like, "Don't worry, they persecuted me too." The memes were so good. They put Peanut on the "Don't Tread on Me" flag. The internet is truly glorious. And then to make this story even more indicative of the clown world that we absolutely do inhabit, it turns out that Mark Longo, the guy who owned Peanut, the squirrel, is also, because everyone in America is now a pornographer on the side, it's how we have to pay the bills in these inflationary times. He's a pornographer with an OnlyFans, and he fingers himself in the beehole. And the cherry on top, his name was Squirrel Daddy. We live in clown world. And then people were like, "Oh, this guy was in porn. See, this is why you shouldn't support these heroes." And then everyone's like, this guy putting a finger in his butt isn't going to stop me from calling out government overreach. Okay?
Being outraged about Peanut's death.
Keep your eye on the ball, people. This is what the government wants. They want us all paying attention to fingers in the butt while they're fucking us in the butt. Before our next segment, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, touch my bells and buttons. Tell your friends about this wacky show where you never really know what we're going to cover, what you're going to get. You've all heard me talk about my Bone Charge red light face mask. I absolutely love it. Getting older sucks, especially when you're an old lady on YouTube and your job requires you to be on camera and you're the internet's favorite Gen X aunt. I've been noticing wrinkles, fine lines, sunspots, and I don't like to do a ton of intervention on these things. So I use my Bone Charge red light face mask for 10 minutes every night. And they advertise you can use it while you're watching TV or cooking a meal or putting the kids to bed. But for me, it's my 10 minutes to myself that I can stop and do something good for me. It boosts collagen and elastin production. The red light face mask can help with a lot of other problems like sore jaw, eczema, migraines, acne, scar tissue, wound healing, relaxation, razor burn, and ingrown facial hair. My skin looks younger and glowing. Go to bonecharge.com/Bridget and use the coupon code Bridget to save 15% off. That's BONCHARGE.com/Bridget. Use the coupon code Bridget to save 15% off. The holidays are coming up, you guys. This is a great gift for someone in your life. The link is in the description below. Now it's everyone's favorite moment. Let's check the weather with Sol Perez.
Y 28 la máxima. Jueves, viernes recibimos el 2021. Ya el viernes es 1 de enero. Si no me equivoco. Ahí está, me dan el ok por atrás de cámara porque a veces se me van un poco los días, sobre todo estos últimos días del año.
Thank you, Sol. I made a video about why I voted for Donald Trump. A lot of you have seen it at this point. I'm getting, I knew I'd get a lot of feedback. I understand that. I get it. Here's the thing, folks. All of the people who are really anti-Trump and are like, Trump's going to be a dictator, I've given you a gift, which is the gift of being able to say, I told you so, over and over and over again for years when Trump does whatever idiotic things he's going to do. My biggest fear is that Trump is going to reinstate the draft and then everybody who voted for him is fucked. Because that is going to be the moment that everyone's principles are really tested. The gift of being able to tell somebody like me, I told you so, you're welcome, okay? You're welcome. I'm giving you the opportunity to smugly come into my mentions for years. Not everybody is as magnanimous as I am. Not everybody is as good at letting the people have what they want, which is to feel righteous and right in their decisions. And I'm giving you that gift. And I want to say something. America, American resistance, never Trumpers, people on the left, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. I have heard from a lot of people, though. I will, and it's on a serious note. I've heard from a lot of you who agree with me secretly, and I understand why you have to be secretive about it. That's why I was public about it. People are like, well, you didn't have to tell anyone. Your vote's your vote. And I absolutely believe this. You don't owe any politicians your vote. You also don't owe it to anybody to tell them how you voted. You can keep your vote a secret. That is your right as an American. You get to vote however you want to vote. Now, I came out and said it because I have so publicly been wrestling with this. I wrote a whole piece about it. I did a whole podcast with Mary Catherine Ham about how we were like, are we going to do it? And it felt weird to be all shady about it. And I have to be cagey and be like, I don't owe it to you guys. You're going to have to guess. And I did think about just not voting at all. But then because of what we were talking about at the top of the show, hoping that it's very decisive, I think adding to the popular vote in one way or another really does matter in this election, even if it doesn't matter in Texas, which way the state's going to go. It's still one more additional number to add to his popular vote tally. And I also felt like I couldn't square, and I know a lot of people have been able to square this, and I do not judge them either because I completely understand it. Just for me, I couldn't square the cognitive dissonance of wanting him to win but not being able to vote for him. It felt I was like experiencing too much cognitive dissonance. It's like, well, just fucking vote for him. Like people have said, you're not voting for prom queen here. This is just a politician. I don't judge my family members and all of my friends who vote the other way harshly. I still love them. It doesn't matter to me how anyone votes. I don't identify with MAGA. I don't identify with him. I'm not making MAGA my whole identity. I still feel very tribeless. I just made a decision in this moment, and I really actually think we should make it less of a big deal. Like, it shouldn't be a big deal at all. It's an important election, but every election is an important election. We go through this every single time. Like, this is the end of America. And I think we should tone down the hyperbole a little bit. I explained my reasons for voting, and like I said, I could eat all of those words. Wouldn't be the first time, and probably definitely won't be the last. That's what happens when I speak publicly with the information I have. And thank you guys to all of you who have reached out and supported us and told us like that you feel that very similar, because I know a lot of you are very torn, and I totally want you all to know, left, right, center, I respect any of your decisions that you make. I understand why you make them, and I'm not going to shame you and make you feel bad for voting whatever way you feel you have to vote or not vote at all. It is your right. We can be healthy adults about this, or we can be lunatics who are unhinged. And like there was something going around that like professors are starting to like prepare their students and getting people ready for the like inevitable emotional distress that they're gonna feel in the aftermath of this election. And this is ridiculous. We need resilience in America, okay? We do not need to be teaching our children that they cannot handle the results of a democratically elected president and Congress. They should be able to accept those results and go to class and do whatever they need to do at class. You shouldn't be in a cry closet because somebody won an election. This is ridiculous. We live in America. We have food delivered to our door that's pre-cooked. We have hot running water, most of us. Many of us have more things than the average person in the world could ever possibly conceive of. We live like gods and kings, all of us. So just calm the F down and enjoy it's like entertainment now. Just to try and dial it down. And I'll see you guys on the other side. I am going to be doing a free press hit on election night. I will let people know what time that's happening. And I'll be on Twitter. You can always find me there. Last chance to get your Let's Make Nothing Matter Together, a limited edition Phetasy merch. Go to BridgetPhetasy.com for that. Go to Phetasy.com and support us if you like what we do. We are 100% independent, subscriber based. We have some advertisers, but we really just make it by with your, subscription, support. We love you. Anyways, we love that you watch. We love that you share. We love you. We love you for loving us even when you don't agree with us. The coolest thing that happened in the aftermath of this video is that I know I have created a really awesome community of people who allow one another to disagree, because so many people were like, I can't do that. I understand why you did. Thank you for being honest. I can't vote for Trump, but I get it. Like, they were cool and normal and not out of their freaking minds. And that means so much to me. The subscribers in that community of Phetasy.com are awesome. I love you guys. Thank you guys for everything. Please stay sane out there. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And don't let politics ruin your friendships and your relationships. It is not worth it. That's silly. Thank you to everyone who makes this possible. Thank you to our sponsors. And now to cleanse your palate, the internet is glorious.
What? What? You son of a bitch. You no good damn son of a bitch.
Remember, guys, life is absurd. Don't take yourself so seriously. Take the work seriously. Don't take yourself seriously. This has been your Dumpster Fire. I'm Bridget Phetasy. Now make me rich. I'm rich in spirit.
And the unicorns dance while the world burns.